If there are any faculty out there, please come up and join us on the stage. Any bass or drum percussion faculty, come on up. I'll give you fair warning. You have a voice in this too today. That's why you see these microphones on the side. And so if you have questions, we'll have a moment for that. But this is primarily intended for the younger of us. Think about those questions for a little bit before you share them with the world. Now back to your business, whatever you were doing. Come on up here, please. Vic, need you up here. Your name's in the headlines. And not just Vic. Why don't all of you guys move up? Good try. Very good try. I like the way he did that. Yeah. He's coming. Still got to bring some stuff in. What's with the delay? Gives us time to pose. Man, that takes the self out of the selfie.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. All right. Well, students, are you still full of energy, or can we go a couple more days if we had it? All right. All right. Well, first of all, I see so many parents out there and also our illustrious faculty here. I want to wish everybody a happy Father's Day before we go any further. Happy Father's Day. As Steve said earlier, this is really more for you guys to express, what you liked about the program, what concerns you might have about the program, etc. So we really want to take a moment before we get into any type of agenda. We want to make sure that you be heard. So as Steve mentioned, I hope you've thought about those questions. And so we'll do that momentarily. But first, let me let you kind of know who's sitting up here. My name is Yaron Israel. I'm the interim chair of the percussion department. And Mr. Steve Bailey. And of course, the man himself, Mr. Victor Wooten. And I think what we'll do, we'll just pass the mic and you'll hear from everybody else and what departments they're in.
Gregory Ryan, bass.
Hey, like I said, if anybody has gift of party, some wisdom or suggestions, 15 seconds maximum, but we can do it.
Danny Morris, bass, Sagittarius. Now listen, we came in here as individuals and we're leaving as a family. Yeah?
Anthony Vitti, bass department. 15 seconds I said I had, huh? Okay, I'm going to give you one word of advice to the young players. Put down the social media, put down the phones, practice, do something real, Play music, play your instrument, learn the craft. You'll never regret it, okay?
Just to add to that, when you're playing music, seek to play music with other people, okay?
Hi, Bruce Gertz, also Sagittarius. Also, in present time, I'm the longest Berklee Bass Department faculty member. Over 4 decades I've been here. So this is a love fest, not just a bass and can drum event. We are all here because we love music, and music is love, and keep it moving forward. Same.
Marika Gallia, alumna of 2016, so I haven't been here that long in contrast to Bruce. But I would, if I'm allowed to give any advice at my age, I would say just get organized. Just get really serious and get really organized about what you want to do, and find people who can help you get there, because I think if you express that, then they will help you.
I'm Bob Sinecrope. I'm a full-time teacher, just finished my 46th year at Milton Academy, trying to decide whether I like it.
You get a free house.
And it's an honor to be here as part of the staff and work with everybody. I would say the best thing you can do is find inspiration. Find people who inspire you and let that be your guide.
We only need one. Here you go. My name is Blaze. I'm with the percussion department. I guess the biggest thing for me is don't be afraid to accept your weaknesses and turn them into your strengths.
I'm Dave Marvulio. I'm with the bass department. All I can say is have fun making music. It's the most important thing.
Hey there, guys. Killian Duarte here, bass faculty for the weekend. One thing I want to say is that some of my best friends have been drummers, and honestly, no.
That was a joke. Come on,
Yeah.
give it up for him.
Cherish the rhythm section relationship in every band, and it's one of the most satisfying musical relationships you'll have. So have fun, guys.
I'm Henrique de Almeida with the percussion department. Welcome to Berklee. Welcome to the Berklee family. I came to Berklee as a student in 1988, and my dream was to come to Berklee, and I did that. And I came back as a faculty in 2011. And I assure you, if you like music and that's what you want to do for your life, come here, because this is a place. There is no place like Berklee in the world. The amount of people that you find that they'll be doing the same thing that you want to do. And I think Berklee changed my life, and I'm sure it will change your life. So welcome to Berklee. Come back and live your dream. Switch the name Dream for Goals, and everything is going to be done a little bit different. So welcome to the Berklee family, and I hope to see you guys back in 5 weeks or even on our regular semester in the future. Thank you very much.
I'm Joe Santerre from the bass department. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. To all you young musicians, everything is always a matter of time.
Triple entendre.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tom Appleman, and I'm in the bass department here at Berklee. And I would just allow yourselves to listen and not have many expectations, accept what you want to come out, whatever comes out, accept, and just listen. Leave space in your playing so you can listen to your other bandmates. Thanks.
Hey everybody, I'm Jesse Williams, and I graduated from Berklee College of Music on bass in 1991. And yeah, it was a very deep, enriching experience, and the lessons I learned then continue to feed my playing, and not only my playing, but my personal behavior. And those two things are at least as important as each other. The playing part, you can practice that. The person, you can practice that. And just a couple of quick thoughts here that came up over the weekend as really paramount to all of our progress: courage, confidence, conviction, as Clark Terry said. So cheers.
Good afternoon, I'm David Buddha. I've been at Berklee for many years. I just don't remember how many, nor do I want to. But it's a real honor to be here. I think the thing I would say is Happy Father's Day. Love your dad, love your mom, and just love, and your music will sound that way.
Hello, my name is Oscar Stagnaro. I'm from Peru. I'm also the executive director for Berklee Latino, and I would like to use a couple of words: keep live music alive and support live music.
My name is Jackie Santos, professor of percussion, and to all the young players out there, learn how to play songs. Forget learning how to play fast. Learn how to play songs. And if you're really listening, the melody and the rhythm dictates what you play and how you play it. And for me, the aspects of what a great musician is: feel, time, finesse, touch, interpretation. Every note has to have soul, attitude, character. Once you get that, you're on your way.
My name is Chris Laughlin. I'm in the bass department. If I had to say anything, I would say think about your heroes and how they're different from one another. That takes courage. Doesn't take a lot of finger work, doesn't take a lot of chops, it takes courage. So just have some strength in yourself. Believe that you're great already. You have something to say to the world. There's only one you, so we need that. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Allison Keslow, and I'm a Berklee alumni and a bass player. And I would say stay open to all kinds of music, listen to all kinds of music every decade, and enjoy it all and take it all in. You may gravitate towards certain ones, but you know, enjoy the process of learning all kinds of music. And I'll end with try to bring your presence to whatever you're doing, whatever situation. In other areas, as well as when you're playing music, then it's easier to bring that presence into your music playing.
What I was going to say. Hi, my name is Mike Clark. I'm with the drum department, and I graduated from here in 1979. I still can't believe it, but it's a thrill to be here, like again, and to see the potential in all these wonderful young musicians. So we're happy to have you. Thank you.
My name is Zeke Martin. I'm in drum department. I've been doing percussion. It used to be Percussion Week, now Groove Weekend, for about roughly 10 years. My advice that I can give is meet as many people as you can, play with as many people as you can, and have fun and enjoy playing the thing that you love, which is music.
Joaquin Santos, drums.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Grigorieva, and from the bass department, and I graduated this year. And thank you. And my advice would be keep your eyes on the prize being your dreams and your goals, because it's easy to get distracted by other people's goals and dreams, but remember that you have a path that nobody else has walked. So just stay focused and keep faith in yourself, and when you look back, just when you have doubt in yourself, remember all the hard work you put in, and remember that you just gotta keep pushing. Don't look around if it gets hard. Some people may have a similar path and make those connections and make those relationships and enjoy that, but remember that your goal is somewhere where nobody else has gone. So yes.
Hi, my name is Joe Galeota, AKA Papa Joe. That's right. And I'm a professor in the percussion department. I'm very encouraged to see so many parents here with their kids. I had parents just wait out in the hallway for like all the classes. So I just want to thank you guys for really supporting your kids and giving them that opportunity.
My name's Lucy Clifford, and I'm a bass player. I would say the same thing as what Joe said. Go home and give your mum and dad the biggest hug and thank them so much for letting you be here. And also, this is super special to me, so I'd just like to say thanks to all the young women that participated in this camp. You are so welcomed in the music industry, so thank you so much for being here.
Hi, I'm Dave Clark. I'm a member of the bass department here at school, and I just want to say what a delight you students and to family members, your family member. How many people here love a bass player? Yeah, all right. And it's nice to be at a place where everybody loves music so much. So remember that music is more fun than the finest video game. And so allocate your time accordingly.
Hi, my name is Marko Djordjevic, and I'm in the drum department. I started studying here when I was tender age of 16 and 8 months, which means when there is a will, there is a way. And another thing, I'm going to enlist the help of my bass playing friend. Please hold the mic. As I said, where there is a will, there is a way.
Wait,
Anytime.
Can I want to ask for one thing. That snuck up on us. Can we get that again? I just got to get my video out because there's a first time for everything in life, and I just experienced one.
Match gripped or traditionally gripped? Just a short story. Speaking of very supportive parents, and my father, who as well as my mom have been incredibly supportive of my trip and journey. Letting somebody go at 16 and 8 months is not so easy. Across the pond as well. So here's the story. What I used to do is I used to play single stroke rolls like this. My dad said, "You're not a monkey. You can figure out a better way." There it is. Now you know why. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
name is Fernando Huergo, bass department. Keep playing. Always keep playing music no matter what.
My name is Ricardo Monzon. I teach in the ensemble and percussion department. Just a little advice for everybody. Music is beautiful, it's great, it requires a lot of work. Keep in mind there are very technical aspects too regarding the education of the young musicians. There are many opportunities, especially at Berklee, but many other schools have different grants and scholarships. Inquire, research, and find the best way to help your kids to get the best education in music. There are many ways, but you gotta do the research. We hope to see you again next year and from here on, and your kids, of course. They are beautiful, and we would love to have them at Berklee studying formally as the regular students. We know that some of these kids were here today who are coming on September. They are gonna be here as regular students at Berklee. Congratulations to you. Keep it up and work very hard for those auditions and get the scholarships. My best to you.
Good afternoon. I hope you had as good a time as I had being here with you. I've been answering questions for a few days now, but I have two questions for you. Why are you playing, and what are you trying to communicate with what you play? Thank you for coming.
Hi, my name is Mark Calder. I'm in the ensemble department and percussion department here at Berklee, and I just have two quick things I'd like you to think about. Let me think if I can remember them. Don't make your decisions based in fear, and don't let your weaknesses overshadow your talents. Thank you.
Just one quick thing. First of all, I want to also acknowledge the assistant chair of the bass department, Sandro Scotia. Okay. And I'm sure Steve is going to elaborate on that quite a bit. So also, the last gentleman you heard, I just want to acknowledge him too. I appreciate Mark Kohler. He's stepped in this year in terms of doing a lot of the behind-the-scenes administrative things that we need to function in the capacity to serve you guys. So I want to please give a round of applause to Mark Kohler. And from there, turn over to the chairman of the bass department, Steve Bailey.
Thank you, Yoran. And thank you for an amazing performance last night with your group, and of which Greg was. Where's Greg? Stand up, Greg. The stalwart, grooving. Thank y'all. So raise your hand if you were here last night. Well, that's nice. And you came back. We must have gotten something right. It was so much fun, and these 3 days are always amazing. And I forget how big summer programs are at Berklee. I forget sometimes how large everything is at Berklee. But just to put it in perspective, the percussion department itself is larger than the whole Juilliard School in New York. Dance, drama, and music. Just the percussion department. That's kind of a mind-blowing thing when you start to think about it. So we're big, and I'll tell you this, big doesn't mean better. But we're better. But truly, the depth with departments this size, and I get my colleagues around the country at different schools that I went to and everything, and they'll go, how do you manage so many people? And it really comes down to ratios. And what we have in the percussion department and the bass department, and really every department, we've got people and artists and instructors that all love music the way we do, but and they all have the fundamentals that we all teach, but we have specialists. And that to me, that's one of the greatest things about Berklee, is that we're able to have faculties large enough that we've got one here that, well, he's shaved his beard and his long hair, but we call him Brutus whenever he starts teaching metal. Now think about this. He transcribes Meshuggah and brings it into an academic setting. And it sounds a little bit like a joke, but it's not. Because to me, in Western music, how many notes are there, roughly, in an octave? Roughly. I play fretless bass. It's all roughly, believe me. And Will Lee, the great studio bass player, who's worked with everybody, said just about every rhythm he's used in his career, and that spans so many styles, every rhythm he's used could fit on 2 pages of staff paper. 12 notes, we all use them. Doesn't matter if it's metal, doesn't matter if it's jazz, doesn't matter if it's pop, doesn't matter if it's whatever it is. Even country sometimes uses all 12. Yeah. To me, that means all music can be approached academically. We don't reserve it. When jazz started getting taught in the schools, all the institution said, jazz, you can't learn that in an institution. That was in the 60s, late 50s, 60s, and through the 70s, jazz education emerged. One thing I love, and I've been associated with other colleges, but we would always look at Berklee as a cutting-edge place that would take things like a turntable that sometimes we associate negatively in music and create an instrument and create classes and create, this is the big one, revenue streams for our graduates. Anybody want your kids to go to college and make a living at what they love? I know I do. And that's a huge thing, and I really applaud Berklee and the vision of it to approach stylistically, academically, and aesthetically in ways that can help us to have a career in the contemporary music that we love. Can I get an amen? Because there's nothing like it. There really isn't. And I want to thank you all for every student I've talked to, every parent, whether they're drummers, percussionists, bassists, have many of you, I appreciate the kind words you've already given us. But when it gets back to these big things, it takes big teams to pull off big things. It's not one person. It's not 2 people. But once we dig deep into it, it's really hundreds of people work together to make this happen, including faculty and staff and everything. But there's usually some key people. And without some key people, I wouldn't be standing here. I would have left Friday morning. I would be bald because it would either have fallen out or I would have pulled it out because everything goes wrong on Friday morning with registration, especially with a new thing we have called Workday. And I won't go there. But without my assistant chair and a person who helps keep our department thriving, alive, and amazing always, and helps me, and I can't say thank you to Sandro Scoccia enough. Stand up, Sandro. Now, get over here and sit where you're supposed to sit, please. Please,
I just want to say that Thursday evening, I had a full flock of hair.
That's the sacrifices that we make for each other. He gave up his hair so I could keep mine. No, it really does, and I know Yoran and anybody who's had to manage large groups of people. It does take a team. And I want to introduce another member of our team who's come on now as a performance scholar in residence. But his vision in education goes back decades of creating the first bass camps. We actually did the study because Berklee had a Berklee Bass Lines and the Victor Wooten Bass Nature Camp. And I think, Victor, you won by 3 months. Yeah. We did ours 3 months before the Berklee Bass Department. So you are the grandfather of bass camps. But who are you talking to? Oh my goodness. Oh no. I know when Vic's on the phone on stage that there's somebody on the phone. And now I see who it is. I'm going to shut up. But Victor Wooten is part of our team. His vision has helped make this program what it is, and his vibe and his spirit and everything. So, Victor Wooten.
Hey, all right, thank you all. Hey, it just so happened as I'm sitting here, I feel my phone vibrating, and it's a comedian, a famous comedian named Sinbad. And he's so musical. People don't know it. He's been to our camps in Tennessee. He's been here at Berklee. And so I just texted him. I said, "You want to say anything to these young students and that are going on after the end of the camp?" He says yes. So I have no idea what's going to come out. But this is a great musician, but known as a comedian. This is Sinbad. Sinbad, you here?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
Doing well.
Man. So, hey, what's the ages? Are these high school, college? What's the age of the kids out there now?
Sinbad is all of the above. Fortunately, there's young people, but there's older people too, but mainly high school. So it's basses and drummers. Bass and drums.
So the best people, bass and drum, because we're the engine that drives everything.
Yeah.
The best people, drummers, all my ADHD people, I'm a drummer, we got ADHD, and some of us are bipolar. That's our mental illness, but we play drums to calm it down. To all my bass players, we are the cousins to the drummer. When you play the bass, you and the drummer are first cousins. That's why you're tight, and you got to listen to each other, and you got to take care of everybody else. You got to take care of the guitar players and the saxophone players and the keyboard players. But when they go astray, it's up to the cousins to bring everything back in the groove.
Right.
And now, to all my older students like myself who just continue to play, I didn't pick up a bass until I was almost 60 years old, but 55 years old. I didn't pick a guitar back up until I was in my 50s, man. I was lost for 30 years not playing music, man. I want to thank Victor Wooten and everybody at Berklee that got me inspired. But to all you young bass players and drummers, quit asking your parents for money for a bass and a drum. Get yourself a job and buy your own bass. And to all you students who listen to Victor Wooten, you ain't never gonna play like that, okay? So don't be discouraged and don't cry when you go home. He's an example of what a bass can do, but you ain't never gonna do it. So be the best you can be.
Thank you so much, Sinbad.
All right, man.
Hey, happy Father's Day to you.
I got one question for you. You too, my brother. You too, man.
Hey, really quickly, Steve has a question for you. Steve Bailey.
Oh, yes. All right, Steve.
Sinbad,
Yes, Steve.
when's the last haircut you got?
Oh, man, you know what? I let it grow as natural. I look like it's a mohawk, but it's an afro, but the sides don't grow.
Oh. All right, as soon as you hang up, I'm going to tell everybody about our adventure through Boston getting you a haircut. It should be its own sitcom.
Before you hang up, let me tell you guys about Steve Bailey. All you young students, Steve Bailey got too many damn strings on his bass. Take 3 or 4 of them strings off.
Thank you, man. Coming from you, I'll just go cut them now.
Y'all stay up, man.
We love you. You take care.
All right, brother.
Thank you, Sinbad. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's very, very musical, and people don't know it. Hey, really quickly, parents, again, someone said it, but I'll continue with that. Thank you so much for supporting your kids. They don't totally understand it yet, but that's not why we do it, right? We do it because we love them, and that's what we're supposed to do. But make sure they get good grades, all right? Because it's easy to get good grades on the subjects we like, music, but to only do well on things we like is not a good student. right? Because when you get out in the real world, even though I love music, there's some gigs I don't feel like playing that night. But people play to hear us do well. So we have to learn to do things well that we don't enjoy. And it's starting already in school with these subjects I don't enjoy. I have to tell my own kids, got to do well anyway. So encourage them and don't let them slide with getting bad grades, because that's going to continue for the rest of their lives. So kids, listen to your parents. They don't know everything, but they know more than you. Okay? The teenagers, you're at that age where you're finally starting to find yourself, and we think we know more than your parents. You don't, right? You might know more math formulas and stuff, but math, they know more life. They have experience that you can't download. You can't look it up on YouTube. You just have to go through it, right? So listen to your parents. You don't have to agree, but you do need to listen, okay? Listen to them. My parents, my mom said, you'll either raise your kids or wish you had. So let's get it right the first time, right? Put the time in, right? We're always going to be the same age difference, so you're always going to be a parent. The job never ends. And your listening job, kids, never ends, okay? Listen to your parents, but and thank them for supporting you. They're doing things behind the scenes you don't know, right? You don't know until maybe you become a parent. So listen to them and learn everything you can. The kids, you've got all the advice you need, right? The only thing I'm gonna add, I heard Steve Bailey say it to a bunch of kids from Oakland. He said the best thing you can do is stay out of trouble. Stay out of trouble, right? It only takes one thing to ruin all your dreams. So be smart. You can't avoid all the trouble, but you can be smart and do your best, right? Mom said if you treat life right, life will treat you right. So we can't make mistakes, but every mistake should be made at least with good intention. I meant to do well, but I made a mistake, right? And then life will reward you for all of that. Music's not difficult. No one here is asking you to make a career out of it, but we are asking you to continue to do it, because the world is better off if you're playing music, right? So enjoy. When you go home, your friends who aren't here are going to ask you everything that happened. I don't think anything here was a secret. Share it, right? But before you start talking about your weekend, remember that your friends and family at home, they had a weekend too. So ask them how their weekend was first, and then be prepared to listen, right? Learn everything we said, and learn it so well that it's no longer what we said. It's what you say. And then you're living it at that point, right? And at least I'll speak for my own self. I don't lay credit to anything I said. You can say it was yours, but learn it correctly and share it. Why am I looking at you? I don't know why I'm looking at you the whole time. I like this guy, Kevin, here. Yeah. Anyway, enjoy yourself. We play music. Sometimes it'll feel like work, but remember that we play it. We don't work it. We keep playing, have fun, listen to your parents again, and make your bed. Thanks a lot.
Amen on the make the bed. So, as Victor was talking, it dawned on me, and I remember this conversation. I've been at Berklee a paltry 7 years, which is still an infant compared to some of the faculty up here. But shortly after I got here, I approached Vic about the camp, the base camp that we were doing at Berklee, and I said, I'd love for you to come and bring some of your mojo up to Boston, and I'm gonna paraphrase what I remember Vic saying. He probably may deny it, but at the time he was interested because Vic has invested his life into the camps that he does in Nashville, meaning 150-acre property with all the infrastructure built in. You learned a lot about bathhouses, didn't you? Yeah. To support up to 100 people staying at that camp. And understandably, Vic said, I'm really focused on my camps, and I need to make this work, because literally Vic's wife, and Holly is another amazing person. But she said, absolutely. She said, we were talking, I think they were hanging with me in Myrtle Beach or something. She goes, when you get 5 Grammys, you usually have a house at the beach and a sports car. She said, we got a base camp. Remember that? And, but I'm saying all of this because Vic said, I need to focus on my camps. And then usually when I hear a but, it's always like, yeah, he's a great player, but, he snores or whatever. He's a great player. I usually I want to focus on my camps, but because it's Berklee. And his history with Berklee goes back to his brothers driving up from Virginia way back in the 70s, driving up here with Walkmans and sneaking around the college and recording Mike Stern and some of these people sitting on this stage and then taking it back to Virginia, not to get YouTube hits, not to post and see how many people watch it, but to play it back over and over and study it the way we used to do. So Vic's, and he said, but because it's Berklee and my history with it, my history with you, I will come up there. And it's all evolved into Victor now being a performance scholar in residence where he's here every month for a full week. All that to say, what he's given us is immeasurable. So all I ask of you is to go online and look at vixcamps.com, VIXCAMPS. We're not competing. We refuse to compete. But as an option and an alternative, I encourage you to look at that. Thank you, Victor. The other thing that we were able to work out with some great support here at Berklee, if you do go to VIX camps and you end up coming to Berklee, or you already are a Berklee student, by successfully completing that camp, you get a 1-credit performance division. I can't remember the exact name of the credit, but performance division credit. You get a lab credit. So you can actually earn Berklee credit in the woods in Tennessee. So thank you, Victor, for being a part of it.
You're welcome. Thank you. And the perks for me of getting to be in this department and to really be a bass player is I am now like friends with my heroes. So I'm just saying right now I'm literally getting a text from Stanley Clark who says to send you all his best. He would get on a phone and say something right now, but he said he's literally on a plane. And Marcus yesterday said the same thing, just say hello. He didn't want to get on the phone because it was his birthday.
Marcus?
Marcus Miller.
Oh,
I'm
Marcus
sorry.
Miller,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Marcus Miller. We're on first name basis, We just, Marcus.
I know you are.
Yeah, Marcus. But anyway, all of them, they visit Berklee and they're part of this whole thing. But anyway, they're sending their best. I sound like I'm bragging, and I kind of am, because every time I get a message from those guys, I'm like, I shake a little bit. But Stanley literally right now is sending his best wishes to all of you. And these guys, they want you to be the next ones. They've done their work. They want you to take over. And and we're seeing it. We're seeing a lot of great talent. But stay out of trouble.
Hey, let's give a shout out to Stanley. I'm taping right now. To Stanley Clark. Let's hear it. Thank you, Stanley. Thank you. And while you're at it, say hello to Marcus.
Marcus.
And since Sinbad was such a nice guy, say hello to Sinbad. Yeah.
Sinbad.
In case you can't tell, I'm trying to get Marcus and Stanley to be here next fall. So thank you for helping me cinch the deal. Always thinking about something. So you've heard a good bit from us. We'd love to hear something from you. If parents or students, if we can keep it short, there's a couple microphones set up. And when I ask for for comments, they don't all have to be positive. I mean, Andre Agassi, the great tennis player, said he learned more from his losses than he did his wins. So I'm totally open to suggestions, criticisms, anything. And if it's worth voicing here, do it. If it's not, send us an email, because we'd love to hear from you. So microphones are on the side. You can raise your hand and go straight to the microphone. Victus doesn't look good. I think it's going to go bad. Yeah.
Is there technology now for allowing people to play virtually with each other?
There is. Yeah.
It's not, hasn't been perfected, thank God. But yeah, there are still problems with delay. I remember a few years ago we had a hurricane here in Boston, and I was due to present a series. I was going to be a resident artist in Mexico, and we could not get out. We could not get out for like 3 days. But the camp started, and we needed to. So I actually taught classes, and these were ensemble classes as well, through a mechanism. And it was interesting, but it was really very difficult to try to play, to actually play. As long as you're lecturing, that's okay. But actually trying to do anything musically, it's very difficult.
The timing lag.
The problem with that is the speed of light. And with a what they call an I2 connection, even we've tried it back and forth to Europe, and light has milliseconds of delay going that far. So if you can figure out how to speed up light, we can get it down. You work at MIT, no doubt. No, okay.
Hey, were you one that was here at Berklee in '77? Was that you I was talking to?
When?
Did you go to Berklee?
I did not.
Okay, it was another parent I was talking to. Oh, that was you back there. And we were talking about when my brothers used to sneak up here. That gentleman in the back was here. Hey, the one thing I will say this, because we have technology, we think we have to use it. There are people next door to you that would love to jam. Yeah. So seek them out. We jammed with whoever was in the neighborhood. Good, bad, we grew together. So really seek out the people that are right next to you, in your neighborhood, at your school, and get together and jam, right? It doesn't have to be remote. It can be face-to-face. And as Yaron is alluding to, it should be face-to-face.
But we actually teach a class. Gary Willis, a great bass player, teaches every Thursday from our campus in Valencia, Spain, except his students are here in Boston. So the connection is good that we can go back and forth and create a lecture and a performance style class, but actually grooving together, still we get into the delay. Any other comments, questions? Thank you. Yes.
Hi. My son David is here as a drum set player. He started playing percussion the summer after first grade with an ensemble called the Louisville Leopard Percussionists. And I did not want to miss this opportunity to give a shout out to Victor Wooten, who our kids have played for, who he has made videos of, he has been present for. And in looking at Berklee as the dream of all dreams for a lot of kids who might have been a Louisville Leopard percussionist, he said, "Hey Mom, Victor Wooten's there." Kind of like, I know him, not really. But I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for the connections that you make with kids and how you step outside of your bubble of fame to touch those who are coming behind you and say, "Come on," because it works. And he came to camp and felt comfortable, and I didn't want to miss a chance to say thank you and shout out from the Leopards.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that. And thank you. And you know, I think it's obvious, I'm not the only one. All of these people teach, some of these people are teaching at high school and elementary schools as we speak. But please tell Diane Downs that it's time to talk again, because we tried to get the Leopards at our junior camp, and it's coming up again, so we need to make sure that we get those leopards to
Well, they were
perform.
going to come. Diane got the Jazz Educator of the
Yeah.
Year award. She came up
Exactly.
to Berklee and
At Gin.
received
You
it.
remember that, Steve?
I helped present it.
That's who's
The kids were
yeah.
coming to play, but
Yeah.
then there was a space snafu and whatnot, so that it didn't work out. But she knows David's here, and
Right.
I'll definitely let her know, but thank you.
I suggest
Yeah.
you go online and look them up.
The
It's-
Louisville Leopards. yeah.
Louisville Leopards. It's amazing what's going on in Kentucky. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, my observations of the commentary this afternoon and quick words of advice are very apropos. I see that you're videoing it. If maybe you could make that video available to the students and parents for afterwards, it would be really appreciated.
We can, very likely it's already available. Everything that we do, and I'm not sure if this room is included, but most of our performance spaces on Ustream. If you go to ustream.com and look and type in Berklee, it'll give you our venues, and chances are this video will be a part of that. Did Joe confirm that?
Yeah.
I got a thumbs up. Let's hear it for Joe back there doing sound for us and getting our stage ready. So it's so funny, and that's what I mean by a team, because I came walking in at 10 after, and I was, running in, because I realized we hadn't discussed the setup and everything, and they had the stage set up a certain way. And I came in and said, this is all wrong. We got to have 40, and one guy said, 40 seats? And Joe came out, and I said, yeah, it's just like last year. And Joe said, I wasn't here last year, which is a brilliant response. But thank you for being so amenable to our last minute request. And the other thing he said, don't worry about it. We'll make it happen. So thank you again, Joe. Much appreciated.
Let me, I just want to echo that theme. We have an amazing group of work-study students and also equipment managers and also an administrative assistant or office manager in the percussion department. But I don't know if Lucas Monson is here. Is he here, Lucas? This gentleman has really been amazing in making sure that the drums and even the amps and all the back line and the logistics have been taken care of. So even though he's not here, maybe he'll see it on Ustream. If you could just give him a round of applause for all the hard work. Lucas Monzon and Matthias Lubry, also a part of the percussion team.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kay. I'm a drummer. I just want to say that I love this program. I just have a request, like maybe next year the program can be longer because I love this program. And
We've got a 4-year program you're welcome to be a part of. Is that long enough? If not, you can double major and it'll take 5 years.
And a 5-week one, too,
Yeah.
but I like the 4-year one.
Yeah.
And the second thing is just maybe more jam sessions, because I know there's 6 or 5, but it's I know a lot of kids don't have a chance to play because each person takes up 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and the time just passes by so fast, and so many kids don't have a chance to play. And just maybe more rooms and for kids to interact.
Duly noted. We appreciate that, and we will take that.
Thank you.
For sure. Because playing is what it's all about. That's what it all leads to. There's this thing called a curfew, and we were bound by it. I tried in emails to get it extended for y'all, but there are powers that be above Your Honor and myself that didn't think that was such a good legal idea. I don't understand that part.
Me either.
Hi. Oh, wow, that's a mic. Okay. So, I really had a great time here over these past three days, but, with 3 days, only so much is possible. And the way it was structured, this is a little context for all of you in the audience. You guys know this already, but we had a group of 6 drummers go with a teacher, and that was incredibly valuable to have that specific drum set instruction. But another sort of music camp I went to once, it was 5 days, so little advantage, but what they did was put us into our own little four-piece bands. Like, actually, someone else here went there. Where's James? Shout out to James. But we sort of, they gave us our own, all the students they put us into our own little bands. So we had one drummer, one bassist, 2 guitar players, as opposed to 6 drummers. And so question time. I was wondering, do you offer anything like that? And if not, would you consider thinking about it, maybe?
My suggestion would be to really look into the 5-week program, because there's an instrumental balance. We focus this on, as Sinbad said, our first cousins, bass and drums, and expanding that relationship and exploring that. But there's no substitution for getting a group of people together. But had we done that here, we would have had to hire 74 guitar players, and it's just unmanageable. But you raise a good point. Maybe a combo camp is a great idea, where you just come really like your groove camp, jam camp.
And then less of you would be allowed to attend.
Yeah.
Ouch. That would be the problem.
Yeah, I have the camp that you're referring to. What's the name of it?
It's in this place, Neighborhood Music School in New Haven, NMS Summer Rocks. It doesn't exist anymore because the teacher moved or something. I don't know.
Took the money and left, right?
It's happened before.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the things that we have to think about is how many people to hire to support that, the rooms that are available, so that you each have a different room in the allotted time. So another way to think of the camp is, and this is the way I approach it, and even with my own camps, we can give you more playing time and teach you less. Or we can teach you as much as possible in the 2 hours we have in front of you, so that you can get it in your notebooks, get it in your recorders, and then take it home and get good at it on your own. Right? This is not the real time to get good at it, but this is the time for you to gather the information from these experts.
And share it with the people you play with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, put together your combo at home,
right,
and do what you're asking.
Yeah.
Super. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi, my name's Frank. I'm actually not a parent, I'm a student. I'm one of the older students here, and I'm really here to talk to the parents. So I didn't play music till the age of 40. And I learned to play music with my kids, because I really wanted my kid to play the electric guitar. And playing music with my kids is the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. So all you parents here schlepping around your kid's instrument, play music with them. Pick up a shaker, hit a pot with a stick, anything, because it really brings you all together. And the fact that my kids are so proud of me for being here today is the best Father's Day present that I can get.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Hi, sorry, the microphone went out.
There you go.
I'm not a musician, obviously, because I don't know how to control the mic, but I just want to say thank you. My son is a student, and this is his second year coming, and I think it's so incredible because he comes home humbled and says, wow, I have so much work to do. There are so many people who are so incredible who are here, and he's exposed to that, and where we live locally, but in our town, he's probably the only bass player in his age group who's really striving to improve. I mean, they all are striving to improve, but I think he's really trying to take this opportunity to learn, even if he's not going to be a musician when he grows up. But I just think it's so great to be in here and learn and just get exposed to all you amazing students and teachers. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a suggestion. So I've been here for 2 years, this program, and I haven't seen that many female bassists or drummers here. And my suggestion would be next year, just invite more female musicians to the camp so we have someone to look up to.
I love it.
Thank you.
Great suggestion. Thank you.
Diversity in all manners is a huge focus at Berklee, whether it's in our faculty, in our student body, it's taken more seriously than probably you would think. And thank you for that. That will go in the book.
To add, one of the things you can do is to reach out to your female friends, right? Post online how much fun and what you learned here, and that you would like more females. Yeah, you can help us out with that.
This is actually my first year doing this camp, and I'm a bass player. I came here in 2010 to the 5-week, which changed my life. And then I started the same year as Steve, I think, in 2012 in the bass department. And I would just say that I think this is a really, really compassionate department to that concern. I've always felt comfortable here. And in the percussion department, I had many, many fathers who were like mentors to me here. And Susan Hagen, who's like a wonderful mother to me here in the bass department, who changed my life. So I know that this is a concern. Like I live in Montreal, Canada, where I just got a master's degree where there were 2 women. And I think that people are becoming more and more aware of that. But I see Allison and Cynthia and Lucy, and I feel very, very lucky that they're here, and I think people are listening. So yeah, we're working on it. And please come back.
Excellent point. Raise your hand if you're a bass player or drummer, you're male, and you have a sister. Keep your hand up if they play an instrument. It's on you, guys. Seriously. Go back and love music enough that they want to play too. And make sure, if you're a drummer, that they play drums. I mean, if they play bass, and if you play bass, what's better? Your sister's your favorite drummer. So, but seriously, it comes from people your age. Because by the time you go through the process, we face that in hiring a lot. And that fewer women play bass and drums. So we're really trying to turn that around. You can see from some of our graduates, if you haven't really heard them play, go online and check them out, because you're our ambassadors, you know, as all of our students are, because that's a reflection of what we do. So thank you for that comment. It's taken very seriously. Yes.
I just want to add real quick, when I came to Berklee, I was a little bit nervous, and I said to my dad, I'm a bit nervous. I'm going to be the only girl playing the bass. And he was like, you're 5'2", and you play the bass, and you've been doing that for years. Are you still really apologizing, you know? And I was like, no, I love the bass. And he was like, then go love the bass. So, you know, just go do what you do, love it, be who you are, and people will see that.
So, like my friend Kay, this is my second year with the program as well. I just have to say, first of all, thank you to my instructor, Danny. He was such an inspiration, and he's just such a father-like figure, just like my own father. He's so kind, a great musician, just like all of you. You're all such an inspiration to me.
Hey, ease up. I'm going to have to give him a raise. Just go easy. I'll get emails.
But I also appreciate you, actually, for your comment today. Is you don't want to know about the other bass players that you told us about yesterday. You know, you wanted us to think before Jocko, before him in Weather Report. You want us to look deeper into the music. And I think that's one of the more important things that we need to learn, is that it's not just about one person. It's not about David Gilmour and Pink Floyd. What about Syd Barrett, you know, before the big musician? It's, you know, something that is overlooked so many times. And I think you guys brought to light so many aspects of music that are underrated. You know, how people say, oh, well, the music business is extremely difficult. But you guys bring to light, well, people do it because they love it. It doesn't matter how many risks you take. It matters that you enjoy it. And to continue, I just think, you know, it's a language. And I've met people from China. I've met people from the southern part of the United States. I've met people from Europe. It's a unifying language, and I enjoy it so much. And I just have to say thank you for all of the wonderful things you've taught us. You know, you break it down to the basics. You know, we can, you know, play almost any, thing really fast. But you strip it down to the basics and say, do the basics well first, and then you can do anything. Like Victor said, making your bed in the morning, it's a success. Start your day with a success, and I live by that almost every day now. So I want to say thank you again to a wonderful weekend, and just thank you to all the parents who have let your kids come here, because it's an absolute honor to play with them. I couldn't be more humble about it. I enjoy it so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well said.
I have a quick comment about something that we were talking about 5 minutes ago about female students. I just want to let you know, as a professor here at the percussion department, for the last 3 years, some of my top students are female students. Here's some names for you to check out. Ivana Cuesta is amazing. We just signed her with Paiste Cymbals. We have Leah Bluestein. She is my top student at Berklee, not only playing drums, but I met her in a camp like this. She did 5 weeks. She's with me now. She stayed with me the entire time. I'm taking her in June 29 to a camp in Colorado Springs. She's going to be teaching the camp with me. She's a female student. So Madden Klaus is another amazing drummer who is now touring. Of course, we have Terry Lynn Carrington. He is an amazing drummer that I used to listen to when I was here as a student. So there is a lot of female students that are amazing. And just a quick story for you to get a perspective. I teach a double bass lab, and this double bass lab had about, 10, 12 students, all males, and Leah was on this lab. She was the strongest drummer, and as a matter of fact, the days that she couldn't make the lab, everything kind of fall apart. She's a female student, so we have a lot of, I'm sure, in the bass department and the guitar department. And my mom was a very strong woman. My wife is my manager. She's a very strong woman. So, you gotta be competent as well. We want to welcome, but the most important thing is not that if you Japanese, Chinese, Brazilian, black, white, rich, is your competence. You have to be good at it, And those female students, they're getting opportunity not because they're females, because they're amazing drummers, So I'm doing my best to coach them and for them to become a leader to other female students. But think about that also, It's not just because you're a female drummer or a male drummer or whatever, You have to work hard and have good work ethics. And so your merit is based on your competence, So I love diversity, but I also, if I go to a restaurant and I order a burger and all of a sudden it sucks, I'm not going to pay for it. Well, but it's, it's female chef. Are you a good chef? So, and we're here to train the best musicians in the world. But just a note, the top students for the last few years that I have, they're female students. They're amazing drummers. So check them out. Leah Bluestein, Cuevas, and Madden Klaus, just amazing drummers. And Terry Lynn, who's I think she's on a Global Jazz, amazing female drummer. Anyway, so go women.
Just to add to this list of female percussionists to check out, we had a student. She's probably she graduated a couple years ago, but really doing some great things. Her name is Helen De La Rosa from the Dominican Republic. So check her out, whether you're male, female, whatever. She's really doing some things. And I remember her as a kid. One of the first times that I went to her hometown, and she had dreams just like you guys in these chairs. She had dreams of one day just wanting to get to Berklee, and look, the rest is history. So she's a great example.
She lives in L.A. now, but Joran, you may not even know this, but we got in and this is how music works. This is how careers work. Vic came in one summer, and we were asked to do a show for 5 weeks, and I had heard Helen in 1A, one of the rooms, and really intrigued me the way she played. So Vic, last minute gig, I got in touch with her. I said, why don't you come play with us? Remember on this stage, she played one of the most musical drum solos I've ever heard. within 2 months, she was on the road with us. We hired her, we took her around. Look for some video of Victor, myself, and Marcus Miller with Helen De La Rosa. It's amazing. So support music. Thank you. Any other questions? Any other comments? Yes.
Obviously, the school did answer this question, but what is groove?
Oh, good.
Just what is
Everybody,
it?
let's go around and something brief, because we did bring that up. What is groove? And some people can quantify it, and some people say you got to feel it. But I'm curious to what people think. Anybody want to comment?
One of my most significant teachers, Hal Galper, has a great definition. He says groove is the emotional content of the music.
Anybody? What's a groove?
Groove makes you want to dance.
You know, as drummers, people think groove is to play a beat that is all correct and in time. For me, personally, groove means the feeling, like you said, that I have when I play with musicians that have the ability to play well together. Because you can be a drummer, and let's say you have this groove that you're working on, and you think it's groove. It's grooving, it's in time, has good dynamics. You go play with a bass player, he play a note that clashes with your beat. Now it's not grooving anymore, because it's not together. So in my opinion, when the band is grooving and you have that great feeling, I think it's the result of people listening and the ability to play together, you know, in all levels, like you said on your book, all the levels of music, dynamics. It's really, I would say, I don't know if that word exists. I'm Brazilian, so I speak Portuguese, but it's like togetherness, you know, in a way. So that's what groove means for me.
Groove is awesome fried chicken.
Papa Joe.
Groove is agreement. Agreement.
Agreement on what?
Whatever it is.
Fried chicken.
I promise you our classes are a little more specific, but
Don't
we're just
microwave.
giving you, we're just teasing you.
Don't microwave it, bake it.
No, fry it.
Here's a thought. That's
That
groove.
is.
I think groove's about relationships. Like, there's no drummer you play with that is the same as you and another drummer, ever. It's like a very unique, special thing that's always changing. And today's different than tomorrow and the next day, and that's a good thing, you know? So I think just like breathing together in the music, it's the best feeling in the world.
Thank you. Yeah. To add something, because we always say we want to groove, but it's always hard to get a defined thing that I can practice. So here's another thought, which may help you be able to practice groove. If you take everything about music that's not a note, not a pitch, if we take the pitches away, what's left? There's rhythm, of course, but there's also dynamics. There's phrasing, right? There's space, right? There's different tones you can get on a drum. So for me, the way I practice groove is I erase notes and I say, what's left? And then I practice those things. And when I get those things right, good enough, it will groove. Meaning if my rhythm's good, the phrasing's good, there's enough space, the dynamics are good, the tone is right, All these things. So think about anything that's not a pitch. Because what I found as a bassist, if I get those other things right and the pitch is wrong, it'll still groove. Right? But if I only get the note right but the rhythm's off, or it's the wrong tone, right? See, the other things, if one of them is too far off, it won't groove. In other words, I can have good time, good tone, and expensive bass. I'm playing all the right notes, but I'm too loud. It won't groove. Or if everything's right and I'm playing reggae, but my tone is too thin, it needs to be fat, it won't groove the same way. So one thing that you can look at, take everything we've all said, because we're all right. But when it comes to practicing, try that. Just what's left if there's no notes? Because that's the world the drummers live in, right? They create notes by the different techniques, the different tones, and things like that. But when that other stuff is working, it will groove. And to me, that's what groove is. It's an agreement, but it's an agreement between all these elements, right? It's not always an agreement between people, because I know some of the best bands out there don't like each other, but they agree musically. So yeah, it's an agreement. It's all of it. For me, it's fried chicken. It's all of that stuff. It really is. But for music, try figuring out what's left besides notes, because most of our teaching is focused on notes. Music theory is focused on the 12 notes. But our world is rhythm. Our world is
What section are we in? We're in the note section, Vic?
A lot of times we train people as if we are.
Yes.
We really do, and I take responsibility for that. But they always told us, all of us in this room, they've told us we're in the rhythm section. So for me, I put that above the note, based on what people have told me. But I found that if I groove, whatever that groove is to you, if I groove, even when I make the mistake and hit a wrong note, you don't notice. And even if you do notice, you don't care, because you can still dance to it. All right?
Amen. So I want to get this out of the way before I forget it, but there are certificates. And we have a table on the bass side set up out front. So on your way out, how's it divided up, Sandro? Three groups alphabetically. So pick up your completion certificate. It'll have your name on it. And, it's everybody's certificate. Okay, everybody. There'll be 3 lines out there. So if you want to take that home and frame it, please pick it up. It's a beautiful thing. It's a sign of commitment and follow through, that certificate. It won't get you a job. It won't convince anybody you're good, but it's just like my college diploma. Every time I look at it, I went, wow, I started it and I finished it. Right. And there's a lot to be said for that, especially if you get in, as you move on in life. People who are going to be hiring you are not looking, they're looking for people, and I can say this as a chair, looking for faculty that start things and finish things. Great starters are easy to find, but great finishers, that's where, when you've got a 15-week schedule and every student every week, something to think about.
So on that note, I just want to once again thank the parents for trusting us, everybody on this stage, and those that weren't able to, faculty members who were unable to make this event. But I just want to thank you guys for trusting us, trusting your students to be in our hands for these last 3 days. So once again, happy Father's Day, and enjoy the rest of the day. It's been a real blast to work with your students.
Thank you, Yoran. Safe travels on the way home. Who flew? Raise your hand if you flew. Well, we may see you at the airport, because I know Vic's headed that way, I'm headed that way, and probably some other folks are too, so we'll see you there.